Hi everybody. My topic for my research paper was how does trauma affect a child's development, and I chose this because from my personal experience as having trauma as a child, I feel like I haven't seen much of a difference, but now reading all of the information on whether or not trauma affects a child's development, it definitely has changed more of my perspective. But I also was interested in this topic because I want to go into the medical field myself. So kind of getting to know what else there is to do, or just even being an advocate for children who have trauma or anything like that. In my paper, my thesis is trauma can affect a child and bringing difficulties as we grow up into childhood because we all bring the memories with us. So I feel like it's pretty explanatory. I talked about bringing awareness to knowing the signs of what the trauma as a child brings, what it's like with being a trauma. I also brought in studies to show how each thing as you grow up ends up affecting you growing up, because it all has a difference, because you're in a different stage each time that you are growing up. So there's different ages. There was 2 to 4 years old, 5 to 8 years old, and they're all different because 2 years old you're trying to learn what it is with being a companion, and you need someone for comfort, like a family member, a friend, or anything like that, because you lean on them. And so that was kind of most of it, and just showing the differences between people who have trauma or have had trauma and people who are who haven't experienced trauma and don't know exactly how that is. I feel like the hardest part about writing the paper was trying to pick out what sources to exactly use, or how to pick out different text, or where to put in the citations. Just finding all that out. And I feel like a lot of it was more of how to help, or how to get into being an advocate, and how you can help, and just throughout it I learned how you can speak up for people who can't, and especially for children, teachers and teachers, peers, friends, anyone that you feel is struggling, you should tell. And trauma during childhood does bring a lot of things into adulthood, because you're not exactly you didn't cope with it as a child unless you were in counseling, because if your parents didn't realize or anything like that, then they wouldn't really know. So I'm just kind of trying to bring more awareness with my paper, and to know that people are not alone.